Good afternoon, everyone. This is PJ with Grace Hollow, and welcome to my front porch. We have a bridge out down the road here, maybe a mile or so, and so we have a lot of construction trucks coming through. I'm hoping I got between the trucks and maybe we can have a quiet time just for a few minutes. A little fact, I wanted to share a little fact with you for those that probably don't know. I'm a huge fan of Scooby-Doo. So is my husband, actually. We grew up, we're in our mid-40s, and we grew up watching Scooby-Doo on Saturday mornings, As a matter of fact, we actually met, I'm afraid to say, I might get the date wrong. I know it was the first weekend in May, and I believe it was in 2000, I want to say 2003, but it might have been 2004. Anyway, somewhere in that area, we met at the cinema. We had both taken our children, both single at the time, and we had both taken our children to watch Scooby-Doo the movie. And that's where we met. So, Scooby-Doo holds, a little special place in our hearts. But, sometimes I even act like Scooby-Doo, For instance, I went to Illinois over the weekend for a rabbit show. And I don't know if you've ever driven the highways through Illinois. I was coming through 55 South. There's no curves, no hills, hardly any tree. I'm not even sure you have to worry about turning over a rock as you come down 55 highway. It's wide open spaces. Needless to say, brainless driving. You just kind of drive and you get your think on. And I was going through, driving through quite a little brainstorm on my way home Monday morning. And I was actually thinking about you guys. I had this wonderful video planned, and I was working my way through it and what I was going to say and how I was going to demonstrate. And all of a sudden, this big blue sign over here to the passenger side gets my attention. And like Scooby-Doo, I jump and my shoulders go back and my head goes up. My eyes get big as, silver dollars. They're huge. And my chin drops down to my chest. Just think of Scooby-Doo, when he... And then, as I drive by, I'm like, "Arr?" The big sign, it says, "Welcome to Indiana." In case you've missed it, Indiana is not between Illinois and Arkansas. But I was just trucking along, and apparently, the best I gather after looking at the map and such, 55, as you're coming out of Bloomington, if you follow 55, it takes you straight into St. Louis, Missouri. And from there you go to Springfield, Missouri, and then, you turn south and you come on into Arkansas, and, voila, I'm home. A very simple drive, but apparently I missed a turn. Coming out of Bloomington, I was on 55 South, and, I knew, straight to St. Louis. and it's, you know, roughly 2.5, 3-hour drive from Bloomington, Illinois to St. Louis, Missouri. So I'm just trucking right along, and obviously about 15 miles or thereabouts outside of Bloomington, 55 veers off, and if you continue straight, you take 74 south, which then, you know, angles off and goes into Indiana. And so I found myself in Indiana, and I quickly turn around, pull over, and find directions back to St. Louis. So I drove about an hour and a half out of the way. Quite a little drive. I drove about an hour and 15 minutes before I realized I was not going the right way. And I could picture myself as Scooby-Doo in the cartoon when I, huh? Where am I? So there you have it. Interesting little fact. I'm a Scooby-Doo fan, and sometimes I even tend to. So the show, I actually wanted to give you the show results. I went up to Mendota, which is quite a little ways from here. It's roughly about 11-hour drive. And normally I don't drive this far for a show, but I was supposed to go to Nationals last month and deliver some rabbits there, and unfortunately they done my surgery just like a day or two after Nationals, and I wasn't going to have time to go to Nationals and then get home and have surgery, you know, in time. So I had to cancel my plans to go up, you know, up to Nationals. So I was very disappointed I didn't get to go this year. I planned on taking Cash and the Queen, who I thought are exceptionally nice rabbits. And I felt they may not be able to win Nationals, but I felt like they could hold their own, and I wanted to take them and just see, you know, where I'm at compared to other New Zealand breeders across, United States of America. And so I was disappointed I didn't get to go. But, you know, there's next year, and next year, I believe, it's going to be in Des Moines, Iowa, so, you know, that's even closer to me than what Jefferson, Wisconsin is. So I look forward next April, knock on wood, I have a year to plan, well, 11 months now, to plan for New Zealand Nationals. But anyway, I drove quite a little ways for this show, and I delivered some rabbits. Bazooka Joe, a black doe that I had raised up. I was delivering her, and then I had an Ink and Bloomer buck that I decided not to keep, and then one of Avoca's little does, the one that had the nose injury. Those 4 rabbits have a new home in Wisconsin, and so I was delivering these rabbits to Illinois, which was, I believe, 2 hours from their new home. Anyway, I took them as far as I could because I was supposed to deliver them to Nationals, and I fell through on my end of the bargain. And so to make it right, I rescheduled, and I went ahead and drove the extra distance to make sure this young fella received his rabbits. So I get there, and I had a blast. I really did. I got to meet a couple of other New Zealand breeders that I have not had the pleasure to meet before. We are in different areas, and so I was thrilled to meet these two married couples. They all 4 individuals were just very intriguing people. I enjoyed conversing with them and meeting them. And only one showed, so there was me and only one other New Zealand breeder there that exhibited. The one said they didn't have anything to show currently. Everything was bred or had babies or just out of condition. So there was only 2 exhibitors, me and one other. So there was no wins. No one won any legs, unless I didn't stay. Unless the other exhibitor won best in show, or no legs were won. And I didn't stay for the best in show. I went ahead and loaded up and headed back home. I had a very long drive back, so I didn't stay really late. But I took Jonesboro, or who I call Jonesy, my 6'8" doe, and I took Goober, my red buck that has been doing very well. And I took another little 6'8" buck. I had been watching him. He looked promising as a youngster. Now that he was 6'8", he didn't quite get the width that I'm looking for, and so I went ahead and took him. But he just not quite the width that I was looking for. So I went ahead and he's no longer here. But he got decent comments. The judge thought, both judges thought he had great depth, strong shoulders, and good head and ears. But they agreed with me and said that he just lacked the width that one would want to see. And the other exhibitor, it's a married couple that work together. They took, at least a dozen or so New Zealands. They took 2 brokens and probably 10 or so beautiful whites. Here comes some of those construction workers. Okay, well, now I have a dust ball coming at the back of my head, but the other exhibitors, like I said, a married couple working together, they did not put a rabbit on the table that I would not have been proud to bring home and add to my rabbitry. Beautiful rabbits, beautiful. Not a one of them was anything I would turn down. And so I was very excited to compete against these. The whites were just phenomenal, and the broken blacks were quite lovely. I would have, like I said, I'd been proud to bring any of the whites or the brokens home with me. And so when the judges said that they had tough decision between Jonesy and I believe it was a junior white doe, beautiful doe. It came down between Jonesy and the other doe, and they ended up going with the white doe, whichever her class was. They went with the white doe, but Jonesy was able to hold her own, and she was able to compete against that white, which really I was surprised because I looked at them and I thought, oh wow, you look at this, animal. How am I going to compete with that? And I was able to, or Jonesy was able to compete. So I was very proud of that. And then, so the white doe took best opposite sex of breed, and then it came down, and in show B, the judge had a white buck and my red buck, and she said, by far these 2 bucks were the best on the tables today, and beat the does, and it had come down tough decision between Goober and that lovely white buck, and then the white buck won. But so Grace Hollow did not win any legs this weekend. But I tell you, when you get beat by the rabbits, the kind of rabbits that beat mine, I'm okay with that. Especially when they could hold their own and give a serious competition. I was very proud of them, and I felt like Grace Hollow did well, even though we didn't win. The animals that were there were just spectacular, and I felt really good that two of mine were able to compete. There you have it. Grace Hollow didn't win, but we competed against some very beautiful animals. And that brings me to, while I was there, let's go look what I got. I picked up something here. We have two. This young lady right here, she is just beautiful. I'm very happy to have her added to the Rabbitry. She's a young gal, but she was born in February. And it's just a nice, beautiful doe. She's got a neat, nice, deep, dark blue. And I'm looking forward to raising her up and having some kids out of her. And then this one is a little younger. She's a March doe, and she was just weaned, just in time for me to pick her up. So she's a little youngster, but look at her, just lovely. I'm really excited to have these young ladies. So, you know, we had 20 rabbits leave, and we had 2 rabbits come back. So, you know, those pretty good odds. Wendy, see, I am reducing. I know it doesn't look like it, but I really am. 20 rabbits leave, and I only bring 2 home. But man, look at these beautiful does. They are a treat. I haven't named either of these ladies yet, but they're certainly wonderful girls, and I look forward to watching them grow up. Alright, so there we have it. I mentioned earlier today the bees and the wasps were out, and we have plenty. So there we have it, you guys. This is June 1st. And there is your show results, and there are your additions from Mendota, Illinois. A good long drive, good people, and a fun show. Even though there was only 2 of us showing New Zealand's, I had a lot of fun. I wished it wasn't so far away, because I would love to go back. And maybe one day I will. It was a good time. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening to me ramble, and until we speak again, God bless.